Time again for Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, owner of Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive Hyde Park. It's the show that delves into the training, socializing, behavior, nutrition, and wellness of your dog. And brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard, with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. And we're back with the trainer Ian Grant, and this week, how your energy influences your dog. So, what do you mean by my energy?
So our energy is defined as our emotions and intentions. So, if you, for an example, if you're going to take your dog for a walk and you walk over and grab the leash and you go, "You want to go for a walk?" You're adding all this excitement, and your intention is to create excitement, and your intention is to go for a walk. So this is kind of how our energy dictates what we can get from a response from our dogs. So recently, a trainer friend of mine, Todd Langston from Orlando, Florida, he put this video up, and these dogs are walking next to him. They're just dragging leashes, and he was talking about this same thing, how your energy influences. So he goes, "Watch what happens here." So he stops, he walks over to the edge of the trail in the woods, and he stares into the woods. And what do his dogs do? The exact same thing. So he didn't...
They stared into the woods?
Same thing as him, and they even walked into the woods a little bit because he had stopped, and he put all his focus, all of his energy into looking into the woods. So they went from just dragging the leash, just sniffing and exploring to, wait, there's something over there.
Yeah.
We have to go check this out. He never said a word to them, not a peep. But if you think about how sensitive the dogs are to this, think about how sensitive they are to our stress, our frustration, our anger, if we feel like they're not listening to us, or our excitement in these types of situations. But it was a pretty cool reaction to the video.
Yeah, it's funny how that does happen that way. I never thought of it until this moment. But sometimes if you are stressed out or upset or something, it's almost like that they'll sit down and almost cower. I mean, they'll just... oh boy, he's having a tough day, and they just don't know how to react. They're almost sympathetic to you.
Yeah. Oftentimes you hear it when people say they get home and the dog has gotten into the garbage, and there's garbage just everywhere. And then everybody says, "My dog knows what they did wrong." Well, what they're actually responding to is when you walk into the house and your shoulders drop and your head goes off to the side and you go, "Oh no." The dog is responding to that energy at that time. It's not looking at it like, "Oh, do you see what I did 3 hours ago?"
Yeah.
It's been sitting here for 3 hours, and I've been thinking about how you're going to feel when you got home. It doesn't work that way. They stay in the here and now.
I was going to say, you've mentioned this phrase a lot, and that is dogs do live in the moment. They don't look back 4 or 5 hours, even though we think that they do remember that far back.
Right, and they may have associations. If I unravel the food bag, they're coming. They're going to do that. But so to kind of build off of this. Here's a cool exercise that you can do with your dog just to try. Maybe you're walking with them on leash, or even if you had they're free in the yard or whatever, walk over to some taller grass and kneel down and start poking your finger through the grass. Like you're really focusing on what's going on over there. Pretty sure your dogs are going to be over there within the minute or so because what are you doing? This is different. Why are you so focused on that you're looking at and focusing on? So this is how our energy and our body language affects our dogs. And if we're not aware of this, that they are aware 24/7, then there can be a disconnect. So creating an understanding of this will certainly change how you communicate with your dog.
Of course, it could inhibit a little bit of your training or some of the things you've taught the dog before. Especially if you say, "Tika, hey, you're gonna have supper now." And of course, she gets all excited and all that, and then you wonder why they got so excited. Well, they got excited because you made them excited.
Most of the time when people see a dog and they go, "Oh my gosh, he's so cute," and then they jump and they go, "No jumping." Well, you just created it.
Yeah, exactly.
All that excitement invited the dog up to your face, and they tried to get there, and then we say no. So, this is how our energy can certainly influence both good and bad behaviors.
Same when you're taking them out for a walk, too. Of course, the excitement of a walk, of course, they don't need to be accelerated in excitement because when they see you grab the leash, that's all they need. You don't need to say, "Let's go for a walk,"
Yeah. And I'm not trying to create a robot out of all this, right? We want that personality and that temperament to come out. So, yeah, it's okay if they're a little excited, but, and they're happy and this is going to be fun, but not over the top, jumping and bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, we want to enjoy our dogs, but we don't want to put them over the top as far as energy goes, because if they start, then you got to fix it.
Yes, exactly. That can get expensive.
And that could be, too, exactly. It could be a long time, too. Back with our question from the doggy bag in just a moment here on Talking Dogs. Back with Talking Dogs with Ian Grant from Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive Hyde Park. To find out more about his facility, just go to vermontdogboardingandbehavior.com. Now, question this morning, Ian, is I almost think he was aiming this for me here. Is it okay for my dog to sleep in bed with me? Well, we've decided, yes, it is.
Guilty as charged,
Guilty as charged. I don't know whether it's right or wrong. We do it. And so is there a right or wrong? Have we been making a mistake over all these years with Tika?
If you asked me this question probably at the beginning of my career, I would have said, absolutely not. Get the dog out of the bed, you know. But this is the big but. I want you to be the ones to dictate that it's okay to come up into bed on your timetable, if you will. So I want you to get into bed. I want you to get comfortable, do your thing, and then invite the dog up. Now, if you have a dog, and Tika's a great dog, but if you have a dog that's making a lot of bad decisions, like snarling, growling, lunging, kind of owns the house, that's probably going to be one of the first things that I take away. And getting up on furniture, because elevation means status in the dog world. That goes more towards the furniture. So for those that may be listening whose dog gets into the bed first, and then you have to find a way to crawl in and get around them.
I'm sure that happens a few times with some folks.
Yeah. That's what I don't want to have happen, is that we have to adjust to our dog in bed. So if your dog is waiting for you in bed, simply just invite them down off the bed so you can get in, you can get comfortable, and then invite them up. So as long as there's some structure to it, I have no problem whatsoever. And recently we've been having May up in our bed, our little Frenchie, with us sometimes. So there is some adjustment period, if you're gonna just introduce this, but just create some structure around it, make it easier.
Yeah, I think we're guilty as charged as far as the structure goes, because the cat wants to come in too, and Tika chases her out. So so when we have her stay in bed, we're kind of rewarding her for chasing the cat, aren't we?
To a degree, yeah. So in that situation, if you choose to work on it,
yes, I'm listening.
If she chases the cat out, or if she stands up on the bed and makes a little lunge to get the cat out, then I would send her down off the bed. So that's the repercussion, that you can't do that up here on the bed. You can behave up here, but you can't misbehave up here.
I'm making a note to myself. I have failed Tika in the bed department here.
I can find a trainer for you if you need one.
Okay, I've heard about some. If you have a question for Ian, you can email him directly to info@vermontdogboardingandbehavior.com. Next week, saying goodbye to your dog when you go to work. Oh, boy, that can be so dramatic.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to be back in 8 hours. Let's synchronize our watches or something.
Yes. Yeah, it can get pretty drastic.
Yeah, it really can.
Yeah, and so we'll certainly talk about it and cover all the bases of what you should and should not do.
Okay, guaranteed I've probably done it. On Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard, with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. And for the trainer Ian Grant, I'm Roland LaJoy, and we are Talking Dogs.